now I will tell you what I've been doing, because god damn it. Well, at least I'm gonna skip through most of the challenges I went through so that you can see straight up what happened. So normal map, right? So I found a way to eventually increase the normal map strength. It's by using this set of nodes, okay? So you can just copy it. So like it's basically a couple masks. This one is RNG and this one is B only. Then you grab the RGB output and you put them into the masks. This one you feed it through a multiply, and on the B you want to put this. Remember, this is a constant. It's a simple constant like that. Just parameterize it. I call the M1 normal strength. I put it into M1 properties, run it through a multiply. This one then append the B and the result of this, and that goes into the output. And then the output obviously goes into the normal. And you're gonna have to do the same for M2. And if you want also for M3 and M4, I did not do it yet because I don't need it. Yeah, still like the old setup there. I didn't do it yet. But if you want to do it, you can easily do it. And that's the first change I made. Then the second change I made, which was way more important, it was here in the subset decal. So the most important thing, I changed the roughness. Sorry, actually no, first let's start with the color. So I changed the color, which if you remember was this constant 4 vector, which was like RGBA. I don't want it to have a single color. I want it to be a texture. So I plug in a texture instead of this, yeah? And that's pretty much it. I then proceeded to go to Affinity Photo. So yeah, I went to the folder where I have all of the textures, and what I did simply was to grab this one, the subset. This is basically an alpha texture for all the subset. So we wanted to make some of the subsets white, some of the subsets black, because when we go look at this, right? So like some of the subsets we have, like this one, this is black, but some are white. Like for example, this one, see, this one's like a light gray. This one is like also a light gray, light gray. No, these I kept them dark. This one I kept it dark. But for example, this is dark, but this is light. This is light. So I basically shoved them into Affinity or Photoshop if you want. And all I did was simply just make a mask selection for the ones that I wanted to change. And there you go. That's what I'm left with. See, these are the subsets that are colored correctly as I want to see them. And then when you go take a look at them, you know, in the final piece, now see this, for example, this is a light gray, right? This is a subset and it's a light gray. This is a subset and it's a light gray, but this is a subset and it's dark, right? So this is exactly what I wanted. So some subsets that are black, some subsets that are dark, light gray, some subsets that are dark gray. See, this is also a light one. Oh, I just noticed I forgot the trim here. It's okay, you can always add it now. And yeah, there you go. This is a light subset as well. See? And yeah, that's it. That's pretty much it. Then what I did was I went ahead and changed the AO. So I modified the AO a little bit because these were not showing at all. Like I could barely see them. Same story for these. Same story for these slits. And same story for these. Like I could barely see all that. So what I did was once again go into Affinity and modify the AO. See, there are like a few curves adjustments that I made, like this one and like that one. See, to increase the AO ever so slightly to make it possible to actually be seen a little bit better into Unreal. Now, sometimes you're gonna have to do tweaking like this because you just have to, you know, you bake stuff, it looks good in Blender, then you get into Unreal and you put it in and you're like, ah, this looks terrible, you know, why is it so bad? And it's the AO 90% of the time, because if now I go in here and I go into the material instance of the subset and I get rid of the AO, look at how flat this looks. See, it's super flat, and The reason is because there is only the normal and you don't have the AO, so like there is no ambient occlusion and it's gonna look like really dull. And look, these you cannot even see them because it's just a normal map. I mean, who the hell is gonna come in here so close and be like, oh look, there are holes here? Nah, like it just looks bad from afar. Look at it, it looks extremely flat. Yeah, but we turn on the AO, boom, ah, beautiful, tons of detail everywhere, right? So like you can clearly see these, you can clearly see the vents, you can clearly see those as well. Perfect. That's exactly what we want, right? You can also clearly see those holes, and if I remove the AO, you cannot see them. Look, they're just gone. There you go. Another way that you can actually fix this up, in case you're having trouble seeing stuff, go into the MIP settings, so MIP gen settings, see, and put no MIP maps. Now, if you have it from texture group, it might be that sometimes you go kind of far like this. You see that those disappeared. You don't see them anymore. Like maybe from the video you can barely see it, but trust me, like from my screen, I can clearly see that those are gone. I cannot see them anymore. But if I select no MIP maps, now I see them. This is because Unreal tends to delete stuff. I mean, as in like hide stuff when their size becomes too small in relation to the screen size. And so Unreal will simply not render them. Now you can work around this problem by simply disabling the MIP maps, and I highly recommend you do the same for the alpha textures. So for alpha textures, just no MIP maps. Yes, it's a little more expensive, but you see better stuff. Like you see from more of our, look, I can still see them from here. It's like crazy. Before I couldn't see them from here. It's insane. So remember that. Yeah, and now everything looks good and dandy, and we can move on to the next thing, which I did, which was a roughness map for the subset. So if you remember, the subset used to look really flat. I'm gonna get back to it. So the subset used to look really flat. There was like no roughness information whatsoever. Obviously, I did explain also, which it got well, like I mean, there's only the audio of that, but not the video. But you could obviously go into Substance Painter and grab the subsets and make them nice, and make them like give them some edge wear, give them some scratches. You can do all that, but honestly, to be fair, like quite a few people who will watch this won't have Substance Painter or Marmoset 2-bag, so I'm not gonna go into too much technicalities. Like, I mean, I might make a course where I make my own props and do all that, but this is not the course. This is supposed to be pretty simple and comprehensive and straightforward, even though there is already really a lot of complex stuff. So I'm gonna limit myself to add some very simple general roughness information just to make the thing a bit more interesting. Because if you remember, before, this thing looked pretty much like this. So it was either, like, it was all one roughness variable. So now it's like 0 because it's black. I mean, I could put a white texture. There you go. I mean, it would look like this, right? It's super flat and it's kind of bad to look at, and it's not interesting at all. So what I did was to go in here and literally just change the I'm pretty sure there was a one vector constant here, like this one, parameterized, and it was called roughness. Yeah, that's it. This is literally what was plugged into the B. So what I did, it was instead plug in a texture param to D, and obviously I called it roughness texture. I plugged it into the B. But after this lerp, there was nothing. It was just connecting directly to the roughness. What I did was to put in a multiply and shoved in the constant parameter, like here. That's it. Now I have control over how much roughness I want. So if I now, where is it? Yeah. And my subset should be it. Yeah. Now, see, there is this exposed. And now I can just, what I did was simply just put in the macro variation. There you go, this one. And you can already see it. There you go. And obviously, now I have the roughness parameter, which I can, you see, decrease, increase at my leisure. And that's going to drive the general amount of roughness. Of course, you can, you know, go into more detail, give it also a contrast. You can put in a cheap contrast node, run it through, like run also another param, which then you can call roughness contrast. I'm not gonna do all that, but you could do it, like just the same as we did for the other material, you know. So it's not so bad, like it's not hard at all. It's just after the lerp you do that, and then you can do the overall roughness, and that's it. Bob's your uncle. You have even more way of playing around with the roughness, but for what I want to do, this serves me just fine. You know, I'm gonna leave it at this. I have some extra detail. It looks very nice, and I achieved what I set out to do. So that's great. I think that's about it. Like I summed up, like, I mean, most of the time that I was recording, I was just wasting time into, you know, doing selections into affinity and stuff. So you're not really interested into that. But I mean, also if you work in Photoshop, it's quite different. But the idea is that you select what you need. You just you know, and then just make a mask, and you know, modify the roughness. Modify the ambient occlusion, and just save everything, and you want to override the original one. And what I did was also save a PSD file, which in my case is an AF photo file, which is the equivalent of a PSD. So if I ever want to change the AO again, I can just open that and change the actual file, like the old raw file that I was using, like the old PNG. And I can always revert it back to, let's call it factory settings. And yeah, that's it. That's all I did. I added these two because I forgot about them. Actually, these four because they're the ones on the other side too. But that's all. Like literally, that's all I did. And now the object is taking shape. Finally, it's looking good, and we can at last move on to working on the info trims. And yeah, and the little UI display here. Cool stuff. Let's get into that. Hello and welcome back. So I just got back from the gym, and I feel refreshing, so that we can begin now working on these bloody info decals. I will be eventually every now and then sipping on my protein shake, and yeah, we can get to it. So first of all, I would like to analyze the font a little bit. So I am fairly convinced that this is a NASA font, just because look at the A, how it is. Now, if you go confronting it with the NASA font, hold on, I'm gonna go pull it up. Right, so look at the look at the font, right? So I am pretty sure this is pretty much the same font. So I'm gonna go to the font, and I'm pretty sure we can find it if we look for NASA. Yes, nationalization. Now let's look at the letter E. Let's confront it a little bit. Yeah, look at the letter E is the same. Letter R, is it the same? T is the same, but that's very generic. H is the same, but we can look at something else. Even the N. Yeah, the N is definitely the same. It has small cap. Yeah, it has caps and smalls. So like this is not cap, and it looks the same. The W looks the same. Okay, yeah, I think it's pretty safe to assume that it's actually the same font. See the capital P, it's the same. Yeah. Okay, so this is the font. So I'm gonna proceed to download it and install it. Cool. So I just installed it, and yep. Like now the thing is that if I go create a new text, I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to actually use that font. Actually, I'm gonna make a cap. So, right, I forgot that when you install, like, Jesus, I always forget this. When you install a font, you need to make sure that you install for all users. Otherwise, Blender is not gonna be able to see it. So then, whatever. We go into the regular, and we go look for it. Nationalization. Cool. Yep, and there we have it. Now if we type NASA, there you go, perfect. So What we can do, for example, for this one, Earth 2.0 and a new beginning, I'm gonna make them separate. Like we'll need two of these, I think, because yeah, there's another one and it's a different color. So yep. I'm actually gonna, you know what? I'm gonna import the that picture, you know, the reference photo inside here, because I'm gonna need to extrapolate the hex of this other bluish color. I want to make it the same. So to create the first one, and that's why also decal machine is cool, because you don't have to prepare um, the thing, the atlas by yourself with the info trims. You can literally just make it in Blender, not giving a shit. Pardon my French, but it's so easy to do it. So we make a decal info text. We select the font. Well, we're gonna have to load it. So, nah, NASA. There you go. The text is gonna be all caps Earth 2.0. Now the size, I'm gonna make it 300. Color is white, but don't make it perfect white. Make it a little bit darker, just like that. Padding, whatever. Create info decal. Let's take a look at it. And there you go. Yep, looks exactly the same. Perfect. So we have our first one. So we can save it in the tutorial, and the name we can call it Earth 2.0. Oh, actually, let's call it Earth 2 white underscore white. No, maybe not all in caps. Let's do it like this. Earth 2.0 underscore white. Cool. Add it to library. And we just delete it. And now I need the hex of this blue. And I think it's the same one for the back side. Pretty sure, yeah. So we're just gonna go to the front, and there is quite a few. There is like quite a lot of color variation, but you can just go pick a bit lighter one. Don't pick a dark one, because it always ends up being a little bit darker when you actually make the decal. So this is the hex. So I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna copy it rather, and I'm gonna paste it here. Yep, and that's the hex. And we are gonna create the info decal. Yep, that looks right. Yep, and that's it. That's underscore white. We make it underscore blue. We save it. Then we have a new beginning. We can already do it since it's blue. Like, let's make them all actually. So it's a new beginning, like exactly like that. Create the info decal. We can delete the previous and call it new beginning underscore blue. Let's make all the blue ones first, since we already established the hex for this. Yeah, there is a lot of them actually. Jesus. So a new beginning is done. Then we need to do actual plant incubator. So this is plant incubator. Add it to library, and then we delete it. Next one is high tech industry. Oh, high tech industry. Create decal. Add it to library and delete. And then we have the ID. So ID, this is 6007 dash PL5, just like that. Yep. And we can just call this ID blue. Go. Delete. What are we missing? Ah, yeah. A couple other things. We miss a capital R. This is for like the handle thingies here. So we have a capital R. This is also blue. Yep. And then we have 1, 2, and 3. Now, I'm gonna do these separate because I kind of don't wanna. Yeah. I kind of don't wanna mess it up, the spacing, and then have to redo it. And then it's gonna be a useless decal. And also, it's good because it's less stuff, so it can be rearranged however we like. That's 2. That's 3. Cool. I think that's it for the blue ones. I mean, sure, there is other stuff to do as well, but for now, that's good. Hmm. Yeah. I also want to make a test with geometry because I've never used it, so I want to try see if it works. Yeah, I think for the blue ones, that's all. Then we're missing only a new beginning for the white, and then just the warning and CO2 and danger, and a whole bunch of text, which I can honestly do that in Affinity. Right. So let's make this white again. Here you go. Reduce it slightly, maybe. Cool. New beginning. Underscore white. Then what do we have? Danger. This is all caps. We have warning. All caps as well. CO2. Yeah, it does not have that symbol though, so I'm gonna have to do CO. Jesus, CO, like this, and then I have to do the 2 separate. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. CO white. I have to do our 2, which is white because we have the blue one. Did we do warning already? Yes. Danger we did. Warning, a new beginning. Okay, I think we're good also for the white ones. Yep. Yes, indeed we are. Okay, cool. So that's all for the words and letters. We're only missing all the stuff of the display down here, but that's not a problem. Like this is easy. This is a bit less easy. We're gonna have to do some stuff. God knows. I don't know. I'm gonna pull it off like in a weird way. I'm just gonna do it obviously in Affinity. It's much easier to do it there. But I want to test one thing. So this thing, see these weird ass like geometry things. I'm gonna do them as actual geometry and bake them as an info decal. Just because I want to try that out, see how it goes. But yeah, I think yeah, that should be pretty easy. Okay, let's get started. All right, so for the first one, I'm gonna obviously begin from the most simple one. I'm not gonna go with absolute precision here because I don't need to. I'm just gonna make a plain scale it on the X by 3. Yeah, that looks about right. This one's pretty straightforward. It has supply, rotation, and scale, and this is chamfered, but not too much. But then this one is grabbed and is just goes sliding on the X like this. And then the top one is also heavily chamfered and it gets up to this point. And then it goes also sliding here like that, more or less. Maybe it's a bit wider than I thought. Right. Maybe it's like this. Yeah. Like I said, don't need to be extremely precise with this. I mean, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna make a new material because I think that with the baking, when you bake the geometry, um, you have to actually put on a material. Pretty sure because it doesn't give me an option here for material baking. So I'm going to assume that it will, like, if I input the hex like of that material, it's most likely gonna bake it like in that color. So let's see. Create info decal. Imagine now it just doesn't bake it in that material. I'm gonna be upset. No, it did. It actually did. Yeah, that's the decal. Okay, I was right. Cool. Well, that settles it. So let's call this geo detail. No, actually no. Graphic underscore blue 1. Actually, let's make it underscore 1, 0, 1 to be precise. Yep. Add to library. Then we can delete the decal. And yeah, let's call this material blue matte. Okay, so that we don't go crazy. Let's delete it. And the second one, I don't, even if I wanted to actually use the reference, I can't because it's fucking, yeah, it's not straight. It's kind of hard. I mean, you could if you really wanted to, but I really don't want to waste time to do that. So I'm on a SX7 this time. And we will go as we feel. So right, so I feel like this one has a, what the fuck? Okay, yeah, Blender is just not, okay, that's right. So I need a loop cut. Blender, you're starting to annoy me today. Cool. So we need a loop cut, like I would say here. Yeah. We can then proceed to extrude this on the Y. More or less like this much, I would say. And this vertex goes chamfering. Oh, first let's apply rotation scale. This vertex, we chamfer it, just like, yeah, about that much, I would say. But we need to actually lower everything of a bit. Yeah, like about that much actually, so quite a bit. And we can fuse these three, grab this, and bevel the hell out of it. And by bevel, I mean bevel. Like, don't give it like 3 segments, just, I mean 3 vertices in this case, just crank that shit up. And yeah, that this side looks good as it is. Then we have this side now. Huh. Now how do we deal with this? So one way to do it would be to GX, move it, and then I make a simple cutter. Let's say it's roughly like that, and we rotate it on the Z of 45. Then we scale it on the Y, but of the normal Y. Right, and then we would array this. I'm just checking if it actually makes sense how it is. Wait, is it going through first? Yeah. So we would first of all apply rotation scale, and then we would array it twice. And then we would reduce it to something like that. Yes. Yes, but I'm gonna go and select this as well and go into edit, go into X-ray and actually select everything and move them, because apparently it's way longer than that. I mean, look at it, it's super long. So roughly like that, maybe a bit more. Yep. And then we select this, select that, difference 1 to hide the cutter. I think that's pretty good. The cutter might be a bit too fat, I'm not gonna lie. Let's bring it back. Let's go into ever scroll. We can go into edit mode and scale it on the X, but not that X. We scale it on the normal X. Oh shit. Wait, but we rotated it and we applied. Yep. Now it does not have any more, yeah, because we zeroed out the rotation. So what we can do RZ45, but minus. Bring it back like this, scale it on the X slightly, and we RZ45 again. And that's one way of doing it. I think it's fine, honestly. Yeah, it looks almost the same. Actually, it looks the same. It's identical. Okay, hide the cutter. Operations, smart apply. Material, blue matte. Cool. And we select it and we create info decal. Yep. Should be pretty fast. Oh, it's already done actually. Okay. That's our decal. Let's look at the definition. The resolution, I mean. That's, well, yeah, I mean, the resolution is really good. I mean, we're going to be looking at something like this far anyway in game, so meh. That's how far we would be looking at it. This is graphic blue 02, and we save it. We delete it. And we also delete hierarchy for the cutters and delete that as well. There's a text? Where? Okay. It's empty. Just delete everything, bro. Okay. Then, well, we literally have a bloody rectangle, so SX, maybe SX3. That looks, maybe it's SX4, not 44, SX4. That's, yeah, that's more like it. Okay, so we literally have a rectangle. So, well, that's pretty easy. It's already done. So graphic blue 03. Now we delete the decal, but we don't delete this, because there is one just right underneath, which is exactly the same. It just has a, you know, like this edge is, I mean, this vertex is just goes sliding like that. So whatever. And that's the, what is that, number 4? And I'm pretty sure we're done with the blue graphics. Yep. We could do these, so um, still inside the decal machine. These are simply rectangles. One of them is basically made out of light. I mean, one is just a light. And the other ones are also like emissive, but less. I don't know. It's weird. Scale by maybe by 3. Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no. Maybe scale by 2.5. That's a bit more like it. So, yeah, one is just emissive. So we can give it a ME material. Emission, we're gonna set it to like, so to a blue like this, and we maybe give it a 3. See how it looks. Okay, that's... Why is it so bright? Rather. That looks really bright. What's going on with Blender? Why is it making emissive materials so bloody bright? Because, yeah, the top material was white. That could be it. I don't remember this was a thing, like when I've never remembered the bottom material affecting the emissive material. Maybe I remember wrong, but yeah, I never remember that to be a thing. Anyway, so we can give it a 3 is too bright. 2, shit, 1. Make it a bit darker. Yeah, perhaps. Fine. Let's actually no, let's actually make this 5. Screw it. It's fine. Although I do not want it to be so cornery. Um, let's apply rotation scale and hello? And let's bevel the edges a bit. Sorry, bevel the vertices a little bit. Maybe this much. Yeah, that looks fine. And we can save it with baking emission. I mean, we can create it with emission bake. This is actually taking time. Wow. Crazy. Okay, so yeah, that's the preview. Cool. This way we can call it display detail high Amy, and we add it to library. Then we delete this, bring back the plane. We do the same, but this time we do it at 1 emission. Yeah, maybe a bit lighter, like that. And yeah, we bake it. Also taking a bit. Okay, cool. This one is, yeah, it's still pretty high. I want to adjust emission and just lower it. Sometimes you have to do it manually. So I will lower it to this, honestly. That's what I want to see. Now, you might use actually the same and lower the emission. I'm not sure if that's even possible. I would rather actually save another one and be safe with it, because eventually I'm pretty sure that when you import it into Unreal, yeah, it might save it. No, bullshit. It's not, because it's exactly the same. Yeah, it's gonna be the same UV. So eventually, no, it's gonna bake it down into one, and when you go use it in Unreal, it's gonna be the same emission, and it's gonna all look the same, and I don't want that. So I'm gonna save it like this, and I'm gonna give it another denominator. So low emi, add it to library. Go. Check the preview. Yeah, see it's different. Yeah, one is high, one is low. Cool. Now all there's left to do really is just, yeah, it's just these. Yeah, these and that. That's it. That is all there is left to do. Yeah. Okay. So let's get to it. Okay, so we're back into Affinity. I am pretty sure that we can actually make this all into one. So we don't need to make one decal and one decal. We can actually just make one and be done with it. Now, this is really hard to understand what it is. Looks like a bunch of readings, to be honest. So, yeah, we're gonna wing it, brother. Take some artistic liberty. Hello, this is Editing Nick here. So I figured like I could spare you the pain of doing this whole fucking thing. I mean, it's really this is just going to Photoshop or Affinity and just, you know, like doing the thing, as in like it's kind of boring and it's not why you're here. You're here to use Decal Machine and Blender. So I'm just gonna spare you the pain. I'm gonna upload this thing onto my Google Drive, and you can just download it. If you want, you can still do it yourself. I mean, I encourage you to do it yourself if you can, but it's a bit complicated and annoying, and I was suffering through Affinity because I am not so good at using Affinity yet. I literally just started like a couple weeks ago, and you know I've been doing pretty basic stuff. So this is actually the first kinda, not really, but kinda complex thing I did. And my God, I was getting a headache. But anyway, I will leave this running, but I will speed it up like quite a lot so that we get to the end pretty fast. And if you want, you can download the thing. Enjoy! Since I'm fine with this, I am just literally gonna rasterize everything, and I'm just gonna merge selected. Now everything is merged down into this. So I'm gonna hide the black, and I'm gonna export this. So I'm gonna export it as a PNG, And yeah, I'm just gonna hold on. I'm just gonna put it somewhere. Just put it on the desktop for now. So I'm saving it as graphs.png. And then I want to do the emission. So the emission, I don't want it to be white. That's the thing. So I'm going to go into effects. I'm going to go into color overlay. Okay, that does not want to work. Maybe I didn't have it selected, but I did. Okay, never mind. Color overlay, and I want to make it bluish like such. Yeah, can leave the opacity to 100. That's fine. Yeah, good. Now we will leave it this time blue on black, and we will save it, export it, do exactly the same, but this time I'm gonna call it Amy. Okay, so all we have left to do now is to go into Blender. So delete all the stuff that we just made. What we want to do now is load an image. So we want to go into the desktop and load our image here. Obviously, I made the alpha, so I loaded the alpha. I did not load the emission one. So I'm gonna select create info decal, and as you can see, I have no choice on putting any emission or anything like that. So all it did was create this, which is great, but it has no emission. It's literally just a material. If we go into adjust and go on emission, well, guess what? It does not possess one. So what we can do is that we can open the folder. Actually, no, sorry, my bad. This is saved into temporary decals, yeah, instant decals. So we can either go into the instant decals folder, or we can straight up, I'm not even sure, where is this folder? Oh, there we go. Okay, so it should be the last one. So it should be this one. Yeah, as you can see, it has an emission.png. And if you try opening it, well, there's nothing here. It's like a 1 by 1. See, it's like a 1 pixel black image. So what we want to do instead is to go on where we saved the original one, the original emission. All I did was copy it, and now I'll paste it in here. And I am going to give it the same name. So I'm going to delete this one. Cannot delete it. Just going to do this. And now I can delete it somehow. Okay. Basically, we're going to override it. Okay. So now we do have an emission map, which is that there is the mask map, color map, emission map, then there's the decal and the separate textures. So now, if we delete this and we go into instant decals and summon this, technically, if we go emission, we should be able to fix it up. No? Okay. Fuck you. It's okay. We're gonna go into the we're gonna go in and save it anyway. Tutorials, add decal to library. Yeah, but I want to give it a name. Ah, there you go. Display detail graphs. Add to library. Cool. Now I want to see if it added it to library with emission. It did. So we got that part sorted. Yeah, I mean, I can see it has emission mostly because there's the light bulb here, right? So when a decal is saved with emission, it will give you the light bulb. It's just saying like, hey, this is deactivated, by the way, rather. So take care of that. But we know that. So now all there is left to do, since we're done, is to simply go apply these beautiful decals we just made and export the new atlas, and we are good. So we're gonna open recent, open my plant incubator, do not save this, I don't care. Oh, it's in rendering mode. Okay, let's go back into material viewer and we can begin pasting decals left and right. So we have the Earth 2.0 here and the new beginning right underneath. So I'm gonna go here, Earth 2.0. I'm gonna scale it to roughly this. And we will project it. I'm gonna increase the clip a little bit. I always forget to actually fix this up. So that's one. And we have a new beginning right underneath. Oh, this is the blue one. Oh, that's the white one. Okay, so we're gonna reduce it. I think it's just under. Yeah, just under, and it gets like to halfway, a little bit more. Yeah, like this, roughly. Cool. Oh, we created an artifact, so we're gonna invert selection and shit. Control L, invert, delete vertices. Okay, cool. So that's one. Then it's gonna be the same in the back. Although I cannot simply just do this and mirror it like we did before, because look at what happens. Ah! So we gotta do it manually. Looks pretty much the same. So what I can do is actually get a backup. I wonder if I get a backup for both. Yeah. So I get a backup and I'm on a G and holy shit. Yeah, okay. So I'm just gonna take it a bit more slow. And drop them here. Cool. That's one done. Then there is the ID with the weird geometry thing, and that's both front and back. So geometry thing, scale it down. To be honest, we could go into into this and just do it correctly, just like like that. With the ID that goes right underneath. Where is it? Too many in the tutorial section. I should probably have put it. See, ID, it's a little bit darker than the other one. I don't know why, but for text, it's always a bit darker. So that's something to keep in mind. We might want to fix it later. We will see how it looks once we import it in Unreal. But if I remember right, it's gonna stay the same. So this is pretty big. It's actually even bigger. Jesus. Yeah, that's almost like it, and it's fine. And then, yeah, this looks actually pretty different, and there's the same hex color. I don't know why, but Decal Machine always makes it a bit different. We're gonna go investigate in the actual Decal folder right before we create the atlas, so we atlas it correctly. Then we have plant incubator. Yeah, sometimes you gotta put in mind those things. Like not everything always works first time, and you gotta go in and fix it. So plant incubator, we can reduce it. This is actually pretty small, like this. It's a little bit smaller, like that. Yeah. And wait, did I actually apply it? No, I didn't. Apply this one. Yep. And what's underneath? High-tech industry. Right. High-tech industry. Wondering if it's the same width. It is. So it will be like that. Great. Bam. Then There is what? Well, we find once again plant incubator here at the bottom. We can simply select that. And plant incubator with the ID right after that. ID is a little bit bigger. Then we have the S, I think. Oh, R, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So we got R. One. Bit misaligned. That's better. And we have 2. Let's try to make them as similar as possible in terms of height and such. So 2. That's fine. And then 3. Once again, we bring it next to the others. Okay, cool. And now we can just move them. Actually, might as well GX other. And GX. Sweet. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. D, project, alt, bam. Cool. Those are done. Then, what do we got? We got, well, the displays really. See how many these are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 30. Okay, so it's 30, and this is maybe what? 15. Looks like halfway. I'm just gonna eyeball it. So, we go on and grab one. We grab the lit one, heavily lit one, and we bring it here. And there is gonna be 30 of these. So we're gonna apply an array to it, and we put it on 30 with a distance of this much. Nope. Nope. We have to leave more because then there is also the other one. And this is, oh shit. No, this is right. 30. Okay. And less distance. Because then we actually have to apply the other one. So let's go actually and bring this one in. And now we see how they will fit. So this one has to go like this, which means that might have to reduce them and squish them in a little bit. No, not delete them. GX, move it. Yeah, like that. That's fine. Maybe we'll leave a little bit more space. Squish them. And mostly on the X. And we can increase the space slightly. Okay. Now we can duplicate it on the Z. And this time we can make it 15. Actually, let's make it 12. Cool. And then we can bring in the unlit one, which is massive. I mean, it's not unlit, sorry. It's just less lit. So we will scale it up just like that. But we'll reduce the scale on the X to kind of match this. Oh, it's almost perfect. Fine. Then we put it here. And we also array this. Hell, how much did we give this? 1.510. Yep. And now we just increase until we reach the end. Nice. Maybe just move it slightly on the X. Yup. That's about right. God damn, this is looking actually pretty good. Okay, now all we need to do is apply the array, and also apply the array. Select 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3. The alpha, alt project. And obviously, oh, this one's already projected. Never mind. So it's all done. Front is done. 100%. Yeah. Front is 100% done. Now we just gotta do the back and this. So mainly on this one, we just have CO2 and danger on top. Yep. So since it's kind of hard to see with this, we're just gonna hide them. And we're gonna put CO2 on top and danger on top of that. So ooh, CO. Oh, that's right. That's actually 2. So it's CO and 2. Cool. And then danger. And danger goes here. Cool. 1, 2, 3. The project. Boom. And then we shift click this and we can easily just shit. We can easily cry because we need to get a backup and move them. Oh shit. That's not what I had in mind. Okay, D, get backup, G, X, Y. Why is it not aligned though? This is weird. It's behaving as if they're not aligned. Maybe they're not. Strange, but technically they should be. Anyway, we'll project this one too. And that's all good and done. Even though we cannot see it, but at least in Unreal we will. Then we have this Earth 2.0 danger, and yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there is this thing. Oh, we can quickly do it as well. It's not a big deal. But in the meantime, let's finish this part. So we have these. Okay, I mean that should be pretty straightforward. Actually, let's start with danger because we already have it selected. Let me check my thingy here. It's easier. Nope, it's not danger, it's warning. So we have warning, but was it like on top? Nope, it's at the bottom. Warning, and of course it will disappear. And then we have this. Just gonna hide this because it's annoying. I'll move it, position it here. Looks about right. Nope, it's bigger than that. So we'll scale it to be like this. Yep. Just project it as it is. Then we grab a square. Sorry, the rectangle. Move it like that. And then I guess we grab the skewed rectangle. Scale it down to more or less match that. Then just move it here. Match. 1, 2, 3. Alpha project. Means alt project. Okay. We control L, control invert, and delete the vertices because I saw some weird shit. And I think that's how it was. Yeah. We have a new beginning at the bottom and Earth 2.0 on top. So new beginning. Cool. Oh, that created some artifacts as well. So we'll invert and delete. And then we're gonna put Earth 2.0 blue here, roughly this big, I think. Yep. Project. Let's invert, delete vertices. Of course, I should probably use screencast, but at this point, you know what I'm doing. Cool. Yep, that's all. All we need to do that is left is to make this, which shouldn't be too much of a problem, to be honest. Let's make it real quick. Go back into Affinity. We make, first let's save this. We make a new one. Now all there's left to do is again go into Blender. This is saved already. Just gonna open a new project by just middle click. Cool, and then we can do our usual. Go to machine, info decal, and we're gonna load in our image. Cool. With the image loaded, create info decal, and it's gonna take a moment. Delete the camera. What the hell? And yeah, let's go take a look. So numpad 7 to see it from top. That's all good, and we can call this. Actually, we can use the file name, I think. Description incubator. Fine. Add it to library. Close and don't save. And then we can just go to the back here. And it's right here on top. So we don't have it because we need to go into the preferences, go into decal machine because we did not restart Blender. So it has to update. So let's refresh it. Yep, and there it is. Scale it down. Obviously, this is really small text. Normally in games, you don't do this. Like, this is dumb small, but hey, I'm following the thing. Okay, don't hate on me. Look at this. So I'm trying to stay as true as possible to the reference image. Please don't hate me for it. That's all. That's literally all. Now, one thing we want to go check though is we want to go into our decal machine folders and just check because this is way darker than this, and I don't like it. Okay, so we're gonna go fix it now. By the way, a little note for you, in case you don't know where your decal machine library is, you should have saved, a custom one like me. Like, you cannot miss it. It's a decal machine library. You cannot miss it. If you don't remember where it is, just open your add-ons in Blender, just look for Decal Machine, and you will find the path right here, and you can even actually go and copy paste it, but mine is really simple, so I just have it in my D folder. So yeah, just add it in my D drive, and I can go into decals. Yes, tutorial. And this should be technically the last one. Description, incubate. No, sorry. What the hell? No. This is the blue stuff. So graphics, blue. Yeah, see? So this is the color of it. But if I open, let's say the R, look at the color. See? It's different. So that's no bueno. And the thing that kind of sucks is that the correct one is technically the one from the shape, not these. These are wrong. So yeah, theoretically I should be fixing all these. Or there is an easier solution. We'll just fix the trim sheet and be done with it. So I'm simply not gonna care. See, this is one of those moments when being lazy will save you time, because I know that everything is right but the colors, and that's not a big deal. We can fix it. But you can either go into every single one of them and just bring them into Affinity and fix them and blah 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 and be like a good little bot, which will go crazy for like 3 hours and fix it. Or you can be a lazy ass bastard like me and just fix it all in one go. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So now what we are gonna do is we want to create a new atlas. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna bring the origin here. Yeah, like here. I'm gonna hit D and press. Nope, sorry, my bad. Oh yeah, this should. Oh no, yeah, Alt and press this. This is gonna summon all of the decals. So most of these we don't care to have them. So from here, from here on out, we can delete them without any mercy. Okay. And these are all the info decals we have, right? So what we can do is we can grab all these, hit N, go into machine, create atlas, new, info, the resolution 2048, so it's the same as the other one, that's fine. There are no panels, and we can create a new decal atlas from selection. And that's our atlas. Fantastic. Cool. That's pretty good. Like, now there is one big no here, which is this. So this is supposed to be massive, okay, and it's really tiny. So yeah, that's not good. We're gonna have to fix that. So we can, for example, grab this one and reduce it. I'm gonna do it manually because I don't care. It's fine. Most of these are supposed to be really small anyway, just like, you know, like these. Also high-tech industry and a new beginning, they're not supposed to be this big. We can easily reduce these. Earth 2.0, no, that's pretty big. Also, this one is not too small either. Plant incubator, it's fine as well, but this one, I will make it like that. Now, this one can be actually also smaller. I can tweak and just move them around just a little bit, just to give Decal Machine half of an idea on repacking. Yeah, and also give myself an idea if it's fine. So yeah, that's much better. So now technically if I hit repack, let's just put the resolution just to be safe and repack. Now that should be fine. Yeah, that's good. We could increase them slightly because we are losing a bit of textile density, to be fair. But maybe not those. Like this one, we could increase it. Honestly, the rest is fine. Let's just repack it real quick again. These we can increase as well slightly. Doesn't matter so much. Like they're all gonna be fine. The important is that this one is huge because this is the only actually big one. The other ones are pretty small, so these are absolutely overkill, to be honest. Okay, so we can grab the atlas and move it right next to the decal atlas, which is down there. Yep, just slap it right next to it. Okay, so I can see a problem. I think it's 3,250. Shit. Okay, so let's do that tweak. And then let's try as best we can to actually reduce them. So just select them one by one and just reduce them. I know they look absolutely like a bloody abortion right now, but we'll try to make them fit. Like this one's bloody massive. This one's also massive. This is also unnecessarily huge. This we can actually leave like that. What is this? Blue graphic. No, that's fine. Okay, now let's repack it. Cool. Okay, no, that worked. That actually worked. Fine. So, I am pretty much good with this. Maybe I'm gonna go into tweak and just reduce this slightly. Bring the 3 here. Increase. And perhaps I'm gonna increase this one as well. I want this to actually just be on the edge. Like I want it to be huge. It has to be huge. Cannot afford to have this one small. Okay, let's repack it now. Same specifications. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, the textile density is not the best. As you can see, we have a lot of gaps, but for the purpose that we're using it for, it's actually fine. You would normally pack it way tighter than this, but to be honest, we don't even have that many info decals, so it's fine. We just have a bunch. Like this kind of tweaking with, you know, smaller and smaller stuff starts to be important. Like when, you know, like for example, like this is really tiny, you would make it even smaller to give more space to other way bigger decals. But this is not our case. They're all really small, but this one, which is huge, so it works out fine for us. And also now we know it's perfectly 2048. So what we can do now, we can store this atlas. Maybe true on resize, so we're sure it's gonna store the 2048. I think that's at least I think it's what it's gonna do. And we're gonna call it PI as in plant incubator atlas underscore info. And we store selected atlas. And we're done. So now we're gonna go to our main object. We can select one. And no, actually, my bad. We can, yeah, for the info decals, we can just go here, select one, then shift and select to the end. So now these are all of the info decals that are present on the surface of our thingy, on the surface of our object. And now we can just go here and we cannot see the atlas because once again we need to refresh. So we refresh and now it should pop up. Yeah. So pi underscore atlas info, select only this. Do not let this select as well. To be honest, it's not gonna matter because there is no decal into that atlas. So technically you could leave it, but let's be precise and not screw things up. And let's just select this one only, use atlas, and boom, done. So now all of these, see, they're also grayed out a little bit, like as in they're not their original color, and that's perfectly fine. And they are done. Now what we need to do is again select these, all of them, and we want to export the maps. So what we want is alpha, color, and emission. That's it. That's all we need. Now the path is going to be decal atlas. We don't want that actually, because this is the one for the decal atlas, and no, it should not be that. We have this info atlas folder that we made on purpose like a while back. If you have a textures folder, since I already made one, just get rid of it, because we don't want that. We don't want to do that. And we export. It's gonna take a couple seconds, and we can go and open Unreal Engine, and we'll get the prompt to import the new things. Cool, we reopened our incubator, and look at that. 3 changes to the source content files, which are those 3 maps we just exported. So now we can just go and take a look. There you go. So this is the alpha. And then there are the color. Here you can really see the difference, look. Ah, Jesus Christ. Okay. Right, I hate this thing sometimes. Right. So here you can really see the difference. Look at this. Look at that. Gigantic difference. It's massive. Now there are these gray ones, which are fine. Yeah, but that's absolutely ridiculous. We'll need to fix that. And last but not least, emission. Cool. Yeah, that's exactly what we want. So now we're gonna apply. We're gonna apply them, and then we're gonna start messing around with the maps, and then we're gonna go all sorts of crazy shit. You will see. I mean, I'm still gonna do a bit of material engineering and mess around with the materials because I really enjoy doing that. But we need a bit more light here, so let's make it a 1000 because, oh, let there be light. Okay, fine, maybe 800. Yes, that's more than enough. Cool. These are really dark. They are a bit dark, but it's fine. So now we won't be able to apply any material unless we export the new version of our thingy. It's 19 assets to be exported. Guess what happened? Most of these now are going to be on export recursive, are they not? There you go. I'm not sure why it's doing this. This is so stupid. So now I'm going to comb through all of these, and I have to remove this export recursive, otherwise it's going to give me a hard time. So I'm just going to pause and do this myself. Okay, I am done. This is also a very valid reason why you would want to go and check what the hell it is that you are exporting, because if you go in here and you see like 200 assets being exported, you're gonna have a bad time. So for me it's 2 assets and I know what they are. One is the incubator and the other one is the dirt, so that's fine, and I can just hit export. And oh my god, my leg. And then pretty much wait for 40 minutes, and then yeah, and then import. Saying that PI Atlas info on the glass. What? Okay, let's just agree with him, not to offend him, but something happened with the glass, which I'm a bit confused. Let's open the incubator. Yeah, nothing happened with the glass. It just scared the shit out of me for no reason. Okay, so now we have our PI atlas underscore info. And as you can see, it's all showing up as world grid material, which is what we expect to see. And now we can apply our mi underscore, I think it was called info decals. Yes, now it's empty, so you're gonna see nothing. But now we can go and open it. And for the base color, can go into our textures, atlases, info atlas. And we can just go and grab the color and the alpha. Yep, and that's done. Now there are some issues, which, as you can see, this has a little white contour on it, and that is not good. And there is an easy fix for that. I mean, we're gonna do it later anyway because we are already gonna change the color, so we'll also take care of that. Another issue is that we don't have the emission channel. Now that is big problemo. Now it's not really, but we will fix it up real fast. So first things first, we're gonna go back to the showroom and first admire our beautiful work. That's great. Look at that. Gorgeous. Now see, those don't have emission because obviously there isn't any. But look at that. It is all placed perfectly. Wait, is this black? No, it's white. Just the light is shit, so you cannot really see it. Look at this. Beautiful. CO2, Earth 2.0, and look, it doesn't look terrible. That's pretty great. As you can see, it's already inheriting the normal map from underneath, which is good. Unfortunately, we cannot seem to see these two. I believe that's an easy fix. We can just go in here and adjust. Just make it pop out just about, just like that. Then grab this, adjust, and move this out slightly. Just and move this out slightly. Perfect. And now we can try to re-export it and see if it loads it up. Export. $200 later. There you go. Import. And now it should appear on top. And it doesn't. So why is that? I mean, everything else. Oh, look at this beautiful light spill. That's very nice. Everything else is showing up correctly. Yep. Other than obviously the emission, but we'll fix that now. Yeah, everything else is showing up properly. The only one that isn't is this one. And it's puzzling me a little bit because that should not happen. Could it be because it's a subset? I wouldn't want that it's because it's a subset and it's overriding, but that should not be the case because the other one is clearly on top, so no, that should not be the case at all. So I'm just gonna do something that I should not be doing and really punch these out just to make sure. Yeah, that's ridiculous as fuck. Pardon my French, but I really need to see this. Sometimes you have to do some debugging like this. It's part of the game. I actually enjoy doing it. It means that, you know, every time I learn something new. Oh, look at that. See it? See, there is the warning. I can see it, but I cannot see it against the. Yeah, there's also the other one. You see? I can see them both, but I don't see them against the subset, which is weird. See? I can see them both, 1 and 2, but not against the subset. Why is that? Okay, so I disabled the opacity, as in I literally unplugged it, okay, and that's how I used to be before. It's on the red channel, and now we can see it. Now we can see them fine, okay. They're literally on top. See? So yeah, it has to do with the opacity. Well, seems like I have found a solution. Dumb one, but works. Yeah, this is weird. Did not expect it to work, but I was just trying, trial and error, and apparently by using the B, it will work. But if so, I'm sorry, but this is so dumb. If so, RGB should work too. It doesn't. Huh? This is some weird stuff I am not understanding. I mean, what about G? G doesn't work. It's just B that works, and they all look the same. So what the why? Look! What? This is mental. Why is that working? This doesn't make sense. Look, I'm gonna deactivate them. This is R. This is G. This is B. They all look the same. Why is B the only one that is working? Why is blue working and the other ones are not? What the hell? Okay, I'm not gonna try to comprehend what just transpired here. So I'm just gonna say whatever, Blender. I mean, actually, whatever, Unreal Engine. You win. Screw you. Anyway, we'll just de-adjust X. And X, by the way, resets it to the 0 position, like to the mesh. And let's just re-export it and just have a look at it when it's applied correctly. What else can I do? I mean, I guess I was lucky to find a solution, but that was really lucky. Normally it's not that simple. Might be something in the actual scripting on how it works. I have no idea. I'm not a software engineer, so I cannot answer this. But yeah, well, that works. As ridiculous as it may sound, all we needed to do was to change the channel. Okay. I may have forgotten something in the back, I'm not sure. Yeah, I have. It did seem a little bit too empty for my taste. And, well, my instincts were right, so I forgot the plant incubator on this side and that. But that's an easy fix. I'm gonna do it in a second. Actually, I'm gonna do it on camera so that I will also remind you how it is done. So since these are literally the same, I'm just gonna grab these two and just get a backup. And I'm just gonna slide it to the side and then slide it to the back so that it doesn't explode. Yeah, we can literally just drop it. And then, what was I missing? Oh, plant incubator, high-tech industry. Yeah. Well, that's also pretty easy. Just grab these two, D, get back up, and we slide them across to this side, and then just slide them across to this side. And the project. And now all we need to do is grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and go into machine. Make sure we have Atlas info selected, use Atlas, click on our lovely object and export to Unreal Engine. And now 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, -300 years later. Come on. Okay. Oh shit. Yep, I may have forgotten something. Let's see if you remember. Because I really didn't. Well, see, perfect. They do pop up, but if we go in to check, yeah, 6 assets to export. It is because I keep forgetting, because this literally never happened to me, that it keeps on making them export recursive. I never had this, and it is honestly frustrating. Let me just re-export it just to make sure that it's all good. Okay, cool. I'll re-import. Somehow it says that it's 3, even though here it was saying that it was 2. The hell, Unreal Engine, seriously. SM Incubator. Okay. You are a degenerate. Now let's hit G and hide everything and take a look at it. Yes. Oh. Unsurprisingly, that worked. And now we have our asset, which has been correctly textured, and it is complete. All we are missing is dun 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 the emission. So that's not a big problem. Let's do this correctly as it should be done, because we do have a map. So let's grab a texture param2d, and let's call this emission. Now we're gonna slap it in here, into the A. Why is it? Ah, yeah, obviously. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, so it is working. It is into the emissive color, but we're gonna put it in black because obviously we need a placeholder. Apply it. Oh my. No, wait. MI decals, emission. Okay, let's apply the map. PI underscore atlas. Sorry, I just had a realization moment that if it's that, I'm gonna be like fucking. Well, I do see something. I will repeat something. It's not really what I'm supposed to be seeing, but it is something. So there is some form of progress here. But it is not the progress I was seeking. So anybody bother telling me why it's only the contours that are being highlighted? Okay, so there is a problem with the R channel, I am pretty sure, because that's just not normal. Apparently also with that one. What is going on? Why is it just the contour that's... Huh? That is just out of this world, I swear to God. Why is it considering just... Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna run it straight in. Yeah. Don't even know why I was bothering. Honestly, it's already... It's already... You could already consider this for the emission as an alpha. So I don't even know why I was bothering, because when you go open it, it's like... Emission is considering like many other channels, sorry, like many other textures. Whatever is colored and can see, well, that's light. Whatever is black, well, it's not. It's turned off. So it's already like... Okay. Now, needless to say that that's way too strong. We do not want them to be like that. Also because if we turn off our lights, that is going to be lighting everything up pretty much. Like, look at this. Ridiculous. So we don't want that. We want something a bit softer. So we can go in here and maybe put in a 1. 1 is a bit below 5. Something like that. Now, there isn't much difference between these, unfortunately. That's a bit unlucky, because I was really hoping that there would be a more difference between those two. You can always fix it in affinity, obviously, but I was hoping I didn't need to do that. Maybe make it a 10. Yeah, I mean, it's barely visible, the difference, but yeah. Well, this is what we were aiming for. And yeah, we'll just reduce it in affinity ever so slightly, both this and this, so that, I mean, also remember that we're not even showing bloom, so I mean, we are just a little bit, not a lot. So two issues are present here. First, the color difference, and then these, they have a white outline. Now you cannot see it obviously because this is sitting on a white, but if that blue was sitting on anything else, like was sitting on, let's say, this black right here, or even this one, you would see that there is a white outline. And just to prove it to you, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna slap in here an Earth 2.0. Actually, I'm gonna slap the R. Yeah, I'm just gonna select these two and merge them, and then I can just invert the rest and delete the vertices. We can actually even just do this. Doesn't matter. I just went on sliding on the edge. See, now this is on auto. Let's see if I go into machine, Atlas. Now I want to see if it's on recursive. No, it's not. It stayed on auto. That's so weird. Okay, export recursive to assets, export them. And it should appear here. Now let's import it. And we should see technically some form of outline around the R. Yep, you see it? The white outline. So that's not good. It doesn't look good at all. Okay? Like, normally you cannot see it because, to be fair, you're going to be looking at the asset at a distance like this. But we want to be precise. And that is not something I would have. Luckily for us, like, we could not care. But since we're going in and already fixing these, we might as well do the same for that. So I'm gonna leave that R over there, and what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna open affinity, and what I want is I want both of these actually. So I'm just gonna go into the file explorer. Okay, just move this to my other screen, and back into affinity. I'm gonna bring in, first of all, the emission. Let's work on the emission 1 second. So as we've established, this one is fine. This one is too bright, okay? And to be fair, also this one. So what we can do is we can select sampled color. We sample this. Let's bring the tolerance up. Apply. And now we can grab the rectangular marquee and just get rid of this. And what we can do is we can add a pixel layer. So, and we're gonna override it on top. So we are going to grab this color right here, open it, and to be honest, we're gonna make it darker. So darker G, darker R, darker B. Yeah, this is pretty bloody dark if you ask me. But remember that once we bump up the emission, it's gonna look brighter than that. So okay. Yep. Now as you can see, there's a little bit of an outline here, but since this is emission, we don't really care. So we can just save it. I mean, I'd rather export it. Now there is a stark difference in between those two. And that's exactly what, that's exactly what I was looking for. Sorry, I'm just copy pasting the correct thingy. Place. Save it and override it. And now, if we go look, this is still the old one. So now we import it. Ah, see? Now that's way darker. Good. That's, yes, that's exactly. Man, I'm getting so many things right on the first go. Like, I'm so lucky this time around. Normally, I just go and mess around with things for like hours and until I get it right. But now this is coming together pretty nicely. Okay, so that's exactly what I was looking for. In all fairness, we could have made it even a little bit darker, but then again, we can always go here and reduce the emission strength to 5. And now it's darker. Cool. Cool. Now, as I was saying, we need to fix that. So let's open Affinity. And let's import the color. Now, here's the thing about color. We have alpha. So the fact that these are perfectly outlined really doesn't make any difference. Actually, it works against us because we get the white outline, okay? So what we want to do, we're going to do this very rough. So prepare yourself to puke from your eyes, but it's all good. So we're going to... Where's the bloody color picker? There it is. Does that look like a color picker to you guys? It looks like a match. The fuck? Anyway, so we grab this color and then we start doing this. We grab all this and absolutely with a complete disregard for human life, mostly for Pixel's life, we just do this. That is the solution, ladies and gentlemen. The solution is not to give a shit. There you go. Nope. There you go. And there you go. Remember, this is all putting into account that we are not changing these textures, as in the atlases are complete. You cannot add anything later, because if you do, and you don't find enough space to pack those new things in empty areas, but that most of the time means that you didn't use the texel density correctly, it will mean that you're gonna have to go in here and redo all of this. But not only just for this texture, like you have to do it for the emission as well. And God forbid, if you did it for the decal atlas, you're gonna have to go into the atlas again and redo all of the ambient occlusion fixes that you made. So you do this kind of editing on these maps when you are 100% sure you're not changing these maps. Otherwise, you will have a really, really bad time. You have been warned. Now, moving on. We are gonna save this. So let's just straight up export it and override the color. Kaboom. Now let's go back here. Now, if I am right, this is gonna be great. If I am wrong, well, and I'm right! Great. Now they're the same exact color and nothing exploded. And by the way, we don't have that annoying outline because now it is all a solid block of color. Absolutely ignorantly done, but look at that. Look at the result. Perfect. Fantastic. Sorry for the ear rape, but I get excited when stuff works, and this worked perfectly. So, yeah. That's great. That's, to be honest, it was a darker here. Shit. It's actually darker. It's okay. Fine. You want to make it darker? Can do that. Can just reduce this and this and this just a little bit. So we make it a bit darker. And then we can select sample color. we sample this. Well, we could merge down and then, yeah, just sample this. And then we make a new layer. And then we just, shit. It's not what I had in mind. Select sampled color. Ah! Okay. Yeah, not that far. Not that far, mister. Okay, lower tolerance. Apply. Click on this. That's a bit darker now. And if we now proceed to export, save, override it. Yep, now it's darker. There you go. That's it. Sweet. Congratulations, we're almost done. You have been tenacious. Let me tell you. It's not easy to hold that much patience to get to a point like this into asset creation, but this is turning out to be very nice. Now, this is gonna be a little bit of a bonus. It's something I want to do. I want to make the glass frosted, but not all of it. Like, I want to make it frosted from the top, and slowly, the more we get to the bottom, the more transparent it's gonna look. Okay, because right now, for example, it's like, looks like that, but if we go put a cube behind it, and let's just scale, so on the X, 100 on the Z. It's like all the same. It's not lie. I mean, now this was not gonna be a tutorial on how to make glass, but we will kind of fix this up and make it a little bit more interesting, since, well, our asset looks pretty damn interesting, if you ask me. We've done a great job, and we might as well showcase it for what it is, a very nice asset. So, without further ado, let's save, and let's go into our glass material. No, stop asking me. So incubator, we have MI glass. Actually, I'm gonna go into the master material and MM glass rather. So the opacity is just a fixed value, as you can see. Now the roughness changes, which is driven by this texture param. We could make an append node and append them. The idea is we can use, so we have two ways of doing this. Either we use a map, or we use a different kind of projection, so different texture coordinates. Now, I'm gonna spend a little bit of time testing things out, so I don't bore you with all of the me guessing things shenanigans, and we just get right into it once I figure it. Well, so the easiest solution that I could think of would be to make a gradient texture, at least that it comes to mind, to be fair. We want to, although, have a look at the UVs. Now we can go into the static meshes and open this and take a look at the UVs. So we have UV channel 0. Nice. UV channel 1 and channel 2. So we have 3 channels for UVs. What? Interesting. Well, that's channel 0. So we could be using UV channel 1. Just grab the glass and just use that. So let's go in here and data. So we have vertex group UV maps. So technically, okay, wait, let's open UV editing first. Okay, so now they're all over the place, right? But if we get another UV map, so UV map 2, let's call it, and we did select it. Go ahead and unwrap. Now that's going to be different from this map. See, this is the first map, this is the second map. So technically what we can do, wow, by the way, there is these two fucking edges. Let's just remove them. Cool. We could stack them, you know, like it doesn't really make any difference. But I'm pretty sure with ZenUV you can stack. Well, we will manually sort of stack them. We don't need to go too crazy over this, to be honest. It's fine. Just need a rough estimate. But what I want you to pay attention to is that these are rotated. So we need to rotate them by 90 degrees. Now we got to figure out if we're looking at the top or we're looking at the bottom. So if we go ahead and select this bunch of vertices and then GZ, so for two of them is the bottom and for one of them is the top. So shit. Okay, we need to split them up again. So let's go figure out which one's which. So this is the bottom. So we actually need to grab this and rotate it 180. So we want to find then out if this is the bottom. No, that's also the top of the other one. So R180. And then, well, this is going to be for sure the bottom of the last one. Yep. So bottom, bottom, and bottom. Cool. Now we will, once again, select this one, bring it here, drop it on top, select this one, Control L, and just drop it on top. But now the most important part is that we want to bring these into the center and scale them up until we almost hit the sides, like this. That's fine. And then SY, and we scale them like that. Now your question is going to be, oh, but, well, aren't they going to be stretched? No. Simply because we're going to be using a gradient mask. A gradient map, so no, they're not going to be. So remember, this is UV map 1, and this is the second UV map. So we're going to be using this one. So we're going to save. And we're gonna again grab this and we're gonna use Unreal Engine plugin to export, and then we can jump straight in here. So I made this is a new file, which is a 500 by 500, so it's pretty small. I'm using a gradient tool to just pretty much start from here and drag it all the way to the bottom. Now, I'm not sure this is what I want. Probably I want something more like this, because if it's black, the opacity is going to be 0, and I never want to have 0 opacity, so this is going to serve me a bit better. So what I'm going to do then is save this on to the desktop. I just have some, other private files and stuff on the desktop, so I'm always moving it to the side, and I'm just going to call it gradient map. Cool. And now what I want to do is go into Unreal, import it. And technically, now if I go into the, see, now this changed. And if unfortunately it doesn't isolate the UVs, but I can see it. Like I can see these lines here, okay? These are the edges of the sides. So this map is working, and this UV channel 1, which is different than channel 0, which are all over the place. For someone who does regular texturing, this must be looking like a nightmare for you. I understand. I have been there. I have looked at this and I thought, what the fuck? I get it. So anyway, what we want to do is then go in here, pull up a texture param 2D, and we call this opacity map. Then we want to plug this into the RGB, delete this, and we want to have a new texture coordinate. But now, instead of having texture coordinate 0, we're going to use texture coordinates 1. Apply, go to showroom, and now this should be different if obviously we go to apply the correct texture. So now it's not the correct texture. So we need to then open the material instances, mi glass, and opacity map, and we can we need to of course import it first. So we go into textures. Yeah, I'll put it in here in the 500 and whatever. Go into the desktop, bring in my thingy. It is imported, and we can just drag and drop it onto the opacity mask. So theoretically now, if I go back, I should see that it's kind of hard to tell, but I can tell, like, the top, it's way more visible than the bottom part, which is really translucent compared to before. You would be able to really see this if I actually do this. If I deactivate it, look, see? Now also the bottom part is extremely visible. Like, well, now, well, it isn't. You see the distortion of the index of refraction, but you don't really see that much glass. Like, you don't really see the opacity of the glass. Like, that's not that heavy, right? And that's what we wanted. See, like on top, it's almost dimming out the lights even. See, it's kind of actually dimming them out a lot. So I'm actually wondering if I should start from like some sort of a gray, and go down a bit more towards the black. But yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. And also, we can use this for the roughness. So maybe, let's say you don't want to use it for the opacity. Or, by the way, we can run this into a multiply and just make a constant. And we can call this opacity strength. And by default value, we'll leave it at 1. Okay, cool. After messing around a little bit with the glass material, I think I reached the point where I actually like it. And now I'll explain you a bit how I did it. I know it looks a bit different from before, but so this texture coordinate 1, this is the, like the other UV that we have from the for the gradient, right? So now we have the opacity map, which is the gradient. That is gonna go into the into this multiply, and this is gonna be the opacity strength of that gradient. So we could actually call it gradient opacity strength. Then this goes straight into the opacity. Okay, so this gradient completely dictates the opacity. And if I go back and I pull up my material instance and I go into, let me first save it, apply and save. Okay. Gradient opacity strength, now it's 1.5. If I go to increase it, look at what happens. See? It becomes completely opaque, like entirely, yeah? Still retaining the roughness information. We'll see, like I'll show you how that was. So, see, the more I reduce it, the more it disappears. But it goes from top to bottom, so this is straight up the opacity of it. And we can leave it at like, yeah, 0.78, like 0.8, let's say. So, then we have this, not from here, because then it would take into account the opacity gradient. This is going to go into a multiply, so this one's going to control it, the roughness gradient strength, and this is going to go into an add node, yeah? So this is going to take the information of the roughness that is already coming from the roughness texture that we already did before with its own alpha tiling, which goes then through the cheap contrast, which then has the roughness contrast, which is this variable that we made, which then passes through the lerp with this constant for some reason. Then the refraction is always the same, but the color has changed. So now we have color 1 and color 2, and is being driven by the result of the roughness. So basically what this means is that, see this greenish color right here? So whatever is gonna be rough, like up there, is gonna be greenish. So I can turn it to blue, see? And it goes to blue. But I want it, you know, I'm just gonna cancel it because I liked it. So I like this greenish color. You can copy the values if you want, because, you know, it's supposed to be a plant incubator. So I'm like expecting a lot of bacteria and, you know, like byproducts of photosynthesis or whatnot, like around the edge, around the top. And this color instead is for the bottom. For the glass that is not part of the roughness. It's not like rough. See, like all of the rest. And in this case, I wanted to leave it this sort of a like white, slightly bluish color, right? See, if you turn it to black, it's gonna be completely black, and then, you know, it just looks like really, really hard glass. But like this, it looks a little bit better. I really like it. Then if you really want to do like, you know, renders and stuff, you might actually want to go into the post-process volume, and first of all you want to look for reflections method. Make sure it's lumen. You can crank up the quality if you need to do renders and stuff like that, and crank up a bit the, no, max bounce as 4 is okay. And for ray tracing, I bump them up like quite a bit. And then what you want to do is you want to go into translucency, tick these, and then the type of translucency, you can decide if you want to have it as raster or if you want to have it as ray traced. So ray traced obviously is going to look way more realistic, needless to say, but it is extremely expensive. So especially when you have like a triple stacked glass like this, it's not going to be cheap, okay? You need to keep that in mind. But when we go render it, I might keep the ray traced one because it simply looks much better. Obviously, you know, you can fix up the max roughness, like you can, you know, bump it up or bring it down, and the max reflection rays and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we can just leave it like this, and that's good to go. But of course, you know, if you want to watch it in real time and see a bit how it is, how it looks with raster, that's how it's gonna look with raster. Okay. Obviously, on a black background, you're gonna see this effect way more. Here's the seam, you can see it. But yeah, I mean, I would say we did a really good job. And that is pretty much it, to be honest. Not much more to do other than remove the SAR, which we left there for testing purposes, if you remember. We can have a quick look around if everything looks good. We wanted to add actually the normal map to these, like see if we can manage that. Probably we will. And that's pretty much it for everything else, honestly. So I figured out, well, I mean, it wasn't so hard. It took me like just a few minutes. Let me actually save it before I lose all my progress because my computer crashes or something happens. So let's open the subset decals, right? And we have our normal output. This is gonna be the actual texture map that we have coming from a decal machine. So this is all doing its all shenanigans and blah blah blah. We don't really care. But the output, instead of shoving it directly to the normal, we shove it into an add node, yeah? So the this is gonna go into the A, and into the B, we're gonna just copy paste this parameter to the texture. And we're just gonna drop it here and call it normal detail. So we could call it normal subset detail. Actually, this is a bit more verbose and explicative. And then all we need to do is we're gonna grab the texture coordinates, run it through a multiply, and give it a constant. And that constant is gonna be the subset normal tiling, which is a default value. I'm gonna shove it to 1 because otherwise it's gonna be invisible. This is on 0. And then we just apply, save, go to the showroom, and there you go. Simple as that. Now, if we go into the MI subset, so this is the regular normal map, the one I just, like, actually, let's remove both. And maybe we remove also the roughness so that it's a bit more easily spottable, let's put it that way. So first of all, we're gonna show this. So this is the normal map, you know, the classic one. But this, see, this is the plastic O2, so the one that I imported. This is what we're gonna see on top of that, and we can increase subset normal tiling, and as you can see, it's gonna scale accordingly, and it's the only thing that is scaling, right? Because then if we bring in the regular normal map, now they're on top of each other, and now yeah, I can see scale this, but the regular normal map is gonna stay there and not move, which is perfect. It's what we want. Then we have the roughness texture on top of it, which is great. And that's it, really. That's pretty much it. We're done. Now we have quite a bit of variation even for the subset. We not only have our color, we also have the roughness variation, we have normal variation, and I would say that we have done a fantastic job overall, and yeah, it looks quite nice. Now this looks really worn out, to be fair. It doesn't make much sense that the rest is not really worn out and this one is, so you would want to go and decrease the roughness strength a little bit. Or simply change the texture that is not as aggressive as this one, because this is a really aggressive texture. So if I go to Perlin and I grab Super Perlin 2, okay, this is a little bit. Let's see, roughness. Yeah, I gotta find the tiling. Where was it? Texture tiling? Yeah, texture tiling is not very... It doesn't really tell me much. I have to change that. So, yeah. I mean, don't want to increase it too much. I would do something like that. And where is this thing? Yeah, it's not really showing up a lot, as in, like, it's really subtle, as in, like, you can barely tell that it's even there, to be honest. And that's mostly because I think the texture is a bit weak, gotta say. If we change it to something else like this, it's gonna be way more visible. But yeah, the texture is a little bit weak, so we might want to switch it and change it to, again, Perlin, but I want to find a better Perlin noise. Super Perlin, no, these are very foggy. Perlin 23, yeah, that's not bad. It's just tiled a lot. And subset normal, no, that's the normal tiling. That's the overall roughness. And we have, yeah, texture tiling. I need to really change this. It doesn't tell me anything. So let's go in here. Let's go. It should be texture tiling. Where is it? So the roughness is there. Ah, it's because I'm using texture tiling eventually. Yeah, I am. I remember I just removed it from the UVs and just shoved it in there. So this one, I will call it roughness. Texture tiling. Okay, cool. Now at least it makes sense. Roughness, and we have roughness, texture tiling, shading. Interesting. Extra shading settings. This should really go into the extra shading settings, not in the parallax settings, because right now it's in the parallax settings. So we do not want to have it in the parallax settings. We want it into the extra shading settings. Now it's gonna be here. Yeah. There's the roughness texture tiling. Cool. That is all. We are pretty much done with the asset. Now we can proceed to render it. You know, make some nice little renders to showcase. Still in Unreal Engine. And I'll also show you how to render your assets so that they look nice. At least, you know, to what I do. It works for me. So that's it. I will see you soon. I encourage you to come to the Discord, to our very full of people Discord. It's literally just a bunch of us, but that's the thing. Like this course is new and the Discord is like a bit old, but you know, I never really used it much. But for the course, I really wanted to use it because I want to see what you guys are up to. I want to see your progress. I want to see if you took some artistic liberties. Maybe you had different ideas. Hey, maybe they were better than mine. I want to see them. Okay. So come on over, like click on the link in the description and post your artwork and share your progress. Like for now there is only, well, James that posted, but very nice. But yeah, I would like to see what you lot are working on and how it turns out. There is also a troubleshooting part, so in case you run into some trouble or you just have questions, you can just, you know, write them down in here and I'll answer as soon as I can. Anyway, keep up the good work and I'll see you in the next one.